they paved the way. He paved the way for his grandchildren.
This is history that was bigger than them. I don't think they realized that at the time.
I feel like our family was chosen. God chose us.
The Baylor boys, you know, they kind of put Crowley on the map in more ways than one.
Everybody knows the name Ruby Bridges and Little Rock 9, but we have our history here. It gives us a chance to make history tangible for children, and I think that's so important.
My name is Billy Baylor. I was one of the first African-American students that integrated Crowley ISD. From the first grade to the fourth grade, I went to James E. Gwynn. Then I did that for about 4 years, then we moved over to Morningside Junior High. The way we got back and forth to school, we had older kids that went to I.M. Terrell. They would drop us off and they'd go to school and they pick us up. We did that. I couldn't figure this part out. Why do we live in Crowley and had to go all the way to Fort Worth? I couldn't figure out this integration at the time, you know. It kind of puzzled me a little bit, but we figured it out after a while, you know. That's what it's all about. You just wasn't going there. But when we finally did, it was a little rough in the beginning, but we survived it, you know. We walked back and forth to school every day. It was tough. It was tough because we got screamed at and yelled at. But that's just a few. Now, the town wasn't like that. The whole town was like that. Just they had a few in the towns was like that. It was tough on all of us, you know. Even mom, dad, and mom get cornered. She get cornered at the store. Some guy just told her, said, "You ain't got no business bringing your kids in this school," you know. He was talking to the wrong woman at that time. The kids was not cruel like that in school. Some of them was, you know. We had a few, but it wasn't all that bad, you know. Yeah, everywhere you got called that word all the time, you know. You know, it just weren't, you know. Just shrugged it off, you know. Being the only blacks in school, I'm not about to start a riot or nothing like that, you know. I just took all that, you know. We did, you know. Mom told us, well, you know, it's just a word. Don't worry about that. You know who you are. There was a few of the kids that we didn't get along with, but majority of the kids we got along fine. It's the parents that was the problem, not the kids. The parents was, you know.
We heard the stories when we were growing up. You know, we knew we were the first black family here, but I think it wasn't until really right now that it dawned on me the courage and the resilience it took, you know, to step inside those doors for the very first time.
The very first day? Oh yeah, I do remember that day. I thought my best friend was my best friend, you know. He lured me out to the bus in front of the building, you know. He was gonna show me something. I'm feeling naive, I went with him, show him. Every kid on that bus, they niggered me to death. I took them kids. I mean, I couldn't believe my best friend did that to me. He set me up for that, you know. The whole bus, everybody in that bus. I just stood there and just sort of just look around in the days and then walk back in the building, you know, after that happened, you know. So, I was a little upset about it, you know, but thinking my best friend did it. I thought it was my best friend that did that to me, you know. Walk out that door, out here the bus was here, and that's when all the kids started yelling at me. I don't remember that well that happened, you know. But I also remember a lot of people treat me well, you know.
They never stole his joy. They never took his joy.
They yell and scream until we start playing football. Then no, everything changed, you know. Everybody started liking the Baylors at the time. We finally won our first district championship my senior year. The first district championship Crowley ever won. We played Joshua that night, and that was a good game, you know. I had the best game in the world. You know, I rushed for 260 yards in one game. I thought that was going to stand for a good while, but little brother come along and shattered it. What I should say, my older brother had the record in the beginning. He had the record. I broke his record. Little brother come along and shattered mine, you know. So we kept it in the family, you know.
I was one of the original photographers for Crowley High School, so I was always on the football field. And, you know, I mean, I can remember Jackie carrying 4 guys across his back across the goal line. I mean, you couldn't stop him. You really couldn't. I was standing on the sideline and fiddling with the camera and not paying a lot of attention. Next thing I know, I'm on the ground. I got up and I swear a freight train hit me. I mean, he's stout. All 3 of them were just incredible.
Sister, she did the cheerleading thing. My older brother, I looked up at Alton, and everybody loved him too. They called him old swivel hips, because that's how good he was in football. You grab from here, the hips went this way, you know. He was something else. Little brother just run over you. He didn't go around you, he just run you over you. That game they played in Alberta, it took about 6 guys to bring him down one night, you know. Nothing else. It only took the whole thing to take Baylor down.
Sports-wise, they put their heart into it. They were Crowley High School. And when you get down to it, as far as sports, Crowley High School, that's the first thing you think of.
They were definitely good football players. We benefited a lot by having them come into our school when they did. It was a first for us to have 10th graders. It was the first time for blacks to be there, and it was our first chance to play football. We'd never had football in sports. It was basketball or baseball or something. They were just 2 more kids to play with. During school, there wasn't black and white issues and stuff that I was ever aware of at all. There was a couple of rednecks that had gone to school there prior to us, had made comments about coming up and harassing the black boys or whatever. The football team, there wasn't any kind of problems. We walked out to meet them and say, if you mess with them, you're messing with us, you know. And it really never progressed any past that, because I think they knew everybody was serious, you know. We were just out there to play football together. It turns out to be we had good friends in the process, so we couldn't imagine somebody doing what they had talked about. I think it sent a message to the Baylors that we were glad to have them, and they were part of us, you know.
Thank you, Trustee Davis, for that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Dr. Woodson Mayfield, for the second. Trustees, it has been properly moved and seconded. Is there any unreadiness? Hearing none, move to vote, please. And the motion passes unanimously. Congratulations to the Baylor family.
Lord Jesus Christ to make this happen. Me and my friend, I hope they're up there watching everything. I talked to my brother. I told him, if one of us still alive, one of us got to make this happen. And you can walk in the store that day, right there, my heart feels so, because I know that was about to happen, you know.
reached out to him. I called to the store and talked to him on the phone. And I could tell he was a little shocked, because I said, hey, I'm the superintendent. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, integrating Crowley ISD. And he kind of paused. And he said, excuse me, sir. And I explained it to him a little bit more. And I'm like, I'd like to come see you. Because I wanted to just meet him and talk to him. I didn't know exactly which way it would go, but I just wanted to talk to him about his experience. And so was able to go over to Russell Feed and sit down. And we went into the back room. And he was emotional, and I was emotional because I'm like, he began to talk about his experience, and I was like, wow, I felt like, have the opportunity to sit there face to face with history, and just to hear his experience, recognizing that because of the things that he did, that I'm able to be here.
I believe Mr. Baylor deserves a standing ovation, so please stand and recognize living history in Crowley ISD.
To be able to name the school after him, I can tell you when I look back over my time as superintendent, this is probably one of the most impactful, if not the most meaningful to me, thing that I can say that, hey, I believe I played a role in doing that. And so, it was personal. It really was, because I think my own experience is always been about trying to find where I fit. And I think that's one thing when we talk about our children reaching their full potential. It's one thing to tell kids that they can do that and they can reach their full potential, but until we speak to who they are and to their self-esteem and their self-worth and all that, I'm like, this little small piece of the story helps us to be able to communicate a complete story, quite frankly. So definitely excited about that.
To think that I can just drive through Crowley and see, a school with our name on it. That's an awesome feeling, just an awesome legacy that's something that will be here.
For them, Crowley ISD, to name a school after my family, there are no words for that. You can't even, because that's forever, and the Baylor name will ride on forever in a school.
It is something, to just stand tall and, hold your head up high and just like, hey, we're someone, we're somebody.
It's an honor that they're being celebrated. We don't celebrate that a lot, that families endure. They put in hard work. So I'm thankful for them, for going through. The Baylor family's been loved in the community. I love them, So I'm just thankful.
I puffed up a little. It made me feel, a lot of pride. And I just wish my grandmother was here, because she would have ate this up. She would have loved this moment as well.
I'm very proud the school board did it. And I think his parents are very proud. It's a legacy that needs to be told and be proud of. And you really couldn't ask for a better person to tell the story.
Oftentimes we have a second-hand account or a third-hand account or account of somebody else's story, but we were able to hear directly from him. That's amazing. That's important. But I also think it's important that he still lives here. It's not like he's somewhere else. That he not only still lives here, but that he's an active part of the community.
I love this town. I want to be buried here.
I've never met anybody who's more dedicated than Billy and his brother Jackie was to the city of Crowley. Always, you can find them at the football games on Friday, completely covered in Crowley, sportswear, hats, jackets.
Just for my uncle to be here, out of all of them, that's what I said, that's something special. And I told him that, God left him here for a reason.
You can just see that love that was shared between that family, and for him to be able to feel this sense of completeness and to know that we had a role to play in that, like we brought some joy to that family, regardless of whatever else happens. This is something that'll be a part of their legacy forever, and a part of the legacy of Crowley ISD, quite frankly.
We want to celebrate you for being a trailblazer in our district, and we just want to simply say to you and your family, thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm proud to be a Baylor. to be a part of history. Yes, I am very proud.
I'm so glad for it, We'll be remembered when we're gone, you know. Yeah. I just wish they all was here. I hope they're looking down on this, seeing all this happening. I do. I really do. To see all of them gone and just left me behind, you know. I guess that was reason to leave me behind. This right here, you know. Oh my God, this right here.